What gets me about some of the reaction to the mask mandate is everybody is so focused on the age of this judge. And I wrote a piece about this a couple of days ago. The reason why they're so focused on this, it's wild. She's 35 years old. They're really going after her. I never play her. I'm gonna give Joy Reid her biggest audience ever. Audio Soundbite 6. This woman who's like, she's 50 something, isn't she? She loses her mind over this younger woman who and her understanding of the law. Listen to Audio Soundbite 6.
And now because this judge, who was rated unqualified, like she was an intern like 6 years ago, now she's a federal judge. She got on at 33 years of age, Trump's youngest and probably worst appointment. She basically is one of those people who's tired of wearing a mask and ruled as such.
First off, that is a ridiculous assertion. They're talking about the American Bar Association, which is so politicized, it's ridiculous. They keep saying she's the youngest judge. The American Bar Association sent a letter to the Senate Judiciary Committee saying that despite her credentials, she's unqualified because she doesn't have that much trial experience. But she's had trial experience. She clerked with Justice Clarence Thomas, and the American Bar Association is as political and petty as you would imagine any other association of its type being. That's not something that's up for dispute. She was chosen when she was 33 as the youngest judge chosen by Trump, and they're mad because she is so young. And I wrote about this, and I made, as Kane noted, I noted this in my piece that I wrote 2 days ago. It doesn't matter if she's 5 years old. It doesn't matter if she's 35 years old. This is irrelevant from the lack of statute authority that the CDC did not have the statutory authority to do what it did, which was to mandate citizenry cover their face and control their movement within the United States. Now, she noted in her summary judgment that they do have some statutory authority at the border where it concerns people who are coming into the country and whether or not, they should have, as it relates to health, whether it's a vaccination or face covering or something like that. The CDC does have some statutory authority there, but they don't where it concerns individuals moving around in the United States or what they wear on their faces in the United States. They don't have authority there. And furthermore, as Mizelle noted, Judge Mizelle, and this was, I think, page 24 of her piece, is that she noted the logical inconsistency with the CDC giving the all clear at the border with entry of non-citizens, but not applying that same allowance where it concerns citizens on public transit. And she also pointed out how the CDC made a deal with cruise ships. If this is based on science, then why are these exclusions? Why are there all of these exclusions? Because the science doesn't change just because you are inconvenienced. And so she really hit on that. Notice how they're not taking any issue with the merit of the case. They're attacking her age and her. They're not at all bringing up any merits of this case at all whatsoever. And then you have this. I don't even know who this doctor is. Who's Dr. Marazzo? Who knows? So she's complaining about a judicial system that she says, well, they can just, science should guide us here. Listen to this.
I do. And I think it's almost less about the CDC than it is about a judicial system that feels free to sort of insert itself in the setting where we should be letting the science guide us.
What do you mean, what science? The science that said the virus wasn't contagious if you're sitting down at a restaurant, but only if you're standing up? Are you talking about the science that said that it was okay for Kamala Harris to not wear a face mask when she was there discussing the issue with the judge because it was an emotional and amazing time, but all the people who lost their loved ones and were barred from going to funerals or who had to give birth alone or were sick in the hospital alone or who couldn't celebrate weddings, that wasn't an emotional time for all of those people? that somehow the science means the virus is less virulent when it concerns a Democrat politician? The science that allowed Barack Obama to have his big giant maskless super spreader party? Was it the science that said that it was okay for BLM and Antifa to riot and burn down cities because those were at those mostly peaceful protests? But if people got together to protest any attempt to stop election integrity, that was called a super spreader event? I mean, are you talking about that science? Or what about the science of doctors who change their findings based on whoever funds them? That science? It's not science with these people. It's politics. We didn't vote for unaccountable scientists. We voted for politicians, lawmakers. They can take into account any advice that a scientist or a medical professional wants to give. But just because you're a scientist or medical professional doesn't give you de facto godlike powers over the citizenry. Especially over a virus that's endemic and that you all, because of science, were too cowardly to admit that it's been endemic for, 15 months now at least. This is asinine.